America's best-selling truck, has a problem. For years, the Ford F-Series has been sold as tough, powerful, and dependable. But many buyers do not discover the other side until after they already own one. The problem is not just one small defect. It is a pattern of real ownership concerns, sudden transmission downshifts, rollaway risks, trailer software failures, parking brake issues, windshield wiper defects, expensive repairs, high fuel costs, and used truck risks that can turn a dream pickup into a financial headache. And this matters because the F-Series is not a small niche vehicle. Millions of Americans use these trucks for work, family, towing, commuting, and business. So when something goes wrong, it does not affect just one driver. It can affect families, contractors, farmers, trailer owners, and used truck buyers across the country. This is not a hate video about Ford. This is a warning video for buyers. Before you trust the badge, before you believe the ads, and before you spend thousands of dollars on America's most famous truck, you need to understand the dark side of the Ford F-Series, the sudden transmission downshift issue. One of the most serious problems connected to the Ford F-150 is the sudden transmission downshift issue. In 2026, Ford recalled around 1.39 million F-150 pickups from model years 2015 to 2017 because some trucks could unexpectedly downshift into second gear. Now imagine this in real life. You are driving on the highway. Maybe you are going 60 or 70 miles per hour. Maybe the road is wet. Maybe you are towing a trailer. Suddenly, the truck shifts hard into a lower gear. The vehicle slows aggressively. The driver feels a strong jolt. The rear tires can lose stability. The truck may feel like it is fighting the driver. This is not just uncomfortable. This can become a control problem. Reports connected to the issue included owner complaints, warranty claims, field reports, and cases involving towing or wet roads. For a truck owner, that is frightening. Because when you buy a full-size pickup, you expect strength and control. You do not expect the truck to suddenly downshift at highway speed. A buyer may think it is just a recall. But for the person driving that truck, it can feel like a sudden loss of control. And because the F-Series sells in huge numbers, one problem can affect a massive number of owners. That is the first dark side: scale. The rollaway risk. Another serious concern is rollaway risk. A parked truck should stay parked. That sounds simple, but Ford has had recall stories involving F-150 trucks where certain mechanical issues could cause the vehicle to move unexpectedly if the parking brake was not applied. Think about a normal driveway. A driver parks the truck. The truck is in park. The owner gets out and assumes the vehicle is secure. Maybe there is another car nearby. Maybe the driveway has a slope. Maybe a child, a pet, or a family member is near the vehicle. But if a critical part in the axle or parking system fails, the truck may not stay where the owner expects it to stay. And this is not a small vehicle. A full-size pickup is heavy. If it rolls into another vehicle, a garage, a street, or a person, the damage can be serious. This is where a small mechanical part can become a real-life safety risk. A bolt, spline, or parking system component may sound minor on paper, but when that part is connected to the drivetrain or parking system, failure can become dangerous. This is why recall letters should never be ignored. A recall notice may look boring, but sometimes that paper is warning you about a problem that could prevent a real accident. The electric parking brake problem. The electric parking brake issue is another example of how modern trucks can fail in unexpected ways. Ford recalled certain 2021 to 2023 F-150 vehicles because damaged wiring could cause the electric parking brake to activate unexpectedly while driving. Think about that from the driver's seat. You are not trying to stop. You are not pressing the parking brake. You are just driving normally. But because of damaged wiring, the system may activate when it should not. That kind of problem shows how complicated modern trucks have become. Older trucks were more mechanical and simple, but today, brakes, sensors, wires, software, and control modules all communicate with each other. That technology can help the driver. But if one part sends the wrong signal, the driver can feel the result immediately. This is not about saying every F-150 will fail. It is about understanding that modern trucks are powerful, but also complicated. More technology gives you more features. But more technology also creates more possible failure points. And when the system involved is breaking, the risk becomes serious. The towing software failure. Towing is one of the biggest reasons people buy the Ford F-150. Boats, campers, work trailers, horse trailers, equipment trailers. For many buyers, towing is not just a feature, it is the reason they choose a truck. But in 2026, Ford recalled millions of vehicles over an integrated trailer module software issue. The recall included many 2021 to 2026 F-150 trucks. The problem could cause the trailer module to lose communication with the vehicle. That means trailer brake lights or turn signals could stop working. In some configurations, trailer brake function could also be lost. That is not just a small software bug. Imagine towing a camper on the highway. Traffic is moving fast, you press the brake. But the trailer lights or braking system are not working properly. The driver behind you may not clearly see that you are slowing down. The trailer may not respond the way you expect, and if you are towing something heavy, that can become dangerous fast. This issue hits the F-150 directly at its identity. Because the F-150 is sold as a capable towing machine, people buy it because they trust it to pull something important. So when the towing technology itself becomes part of the problem, it creates a trust issue. A truck buyer does not just want horsepower. They want confidence. And if trailer lights, signals, or brakes fail, that confidence disappears. The financial dark side. The Ford F-150 also has a financial dark side. Pickup trucks used to be basic work vehicles. But today, many full-size trucks have become expensive lifestyle machines. The F-150 lineup includes basic work trims, but also expensive versions like King Ranch, Platinum, Tremor, and Raptor. That means many buyers are not buying a cheap work truck, they are buying a high-priced machine. And the cost does not stop at the sticker price. There is fuel, insurance, tires, maintenance, repairs, financing, accessories, towing equipment. A buyer may afford the monthly payment, but still underestimate the full ownership cost. And many people buy more truck than they actually need. Some buyers want the image of capability, big tires, high trim, off-road package, towing package, and a powerful engine. But if they mostly drive to work, school, Costco, and weekend trips, they may be paying thousands extra for capability they rarely use. That is not only a Ford problem. That is an American truck market problem. But because the F-Series is the king of that market, it becomes the perfect example. The dark side is not only mechanical. Sometimes, the dark side is financial. The used F-150 buyer trap. Used F-150 buyers face another risk. A used truck can look clean in photos. The paint may shine. The interior may look good. The price may seem attractive. But the real story may be hidden underneath. Was it used for heavy towing? Was it a fleet vehicle? Were the recalls completed? Was the transmission serviced? Did the owner ignore warning lights? Are there service records? A used F-150 with a clean body but poor maintenance can become expensive very quickly. This is why buyers should not only look at mileage and price. They should look at the exact model year, engine, transmission, recall history, service history, and how the truck was used. Because a cheap truck can become expensive after the purchase. And by then, the buyer is the one paying for the problem. What smart buyers should check. So what should a smart buyer do? First, check the VIN before buying. Make sure all recall repairs have been completed. Second, research the exact model year. Do not just search Ford F-150 problems. Search the exact year, engine, transmission, and trim. Third, be honest about your use case. If you tow often, buy the right setup. If you only commute, do not overpay for capability you rarely use. Fourth, test drive carefully. Pay attention to shifting, braking, steering, warning lights, electronics, and unusual noises. Fifth, check service history. A clean-looking truck is not the same as a well-maintained truck. Sixth, calculate the real cost. Include payment, fuel, insurance, tires, maintenance, and possible repairs. Because the Ford F-Series is not just a truck, it is a major financial decision. So, is the Ford F-Series a bad truck? Not exactly. It became America's best-selling truck for a reason. It is powerful, practical, versatile, and deeply connected to American life. But the dark side is real. Sudden downshift recalls, rollaway risks, parking brake wiring problems, trailer module software failures, wiper motor defects, high prices, high ownership costs, used truck risks, and a truck market that sometimes sells lifestyle before practicality. The smartest buyer is not the person who blindly buys the most expensive F-150. The smartest buyer is the person who checks the VIN, researches the model year, understands the recalls, chooses the right engine, and buys only the capability they actually need. Because America's best-selling truck may still be a great truck. But even the king of trucks has problems you should never ignore. Before you buy one, look past the badge. Look past the ads. Look at the real ownership story. That is the dark side of America's best-selling truck.